everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is pretty exciting. I'm going to be sharing with you Abel's full birth story since the vlog, you know, if you saw the labor and delivery vlog, which I'll link down below, things escalated real quickly, so vlogging the actual like labor and delivery after a certain point just didn't happen. But after I explain it, you'll understand why. So I have notes on my phone, so if I'm like looking at my phone or looking down, that's why. But if you want to hear his interesting birth story, keep watching. If you have other newborn videos or anything that you want to see, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it, because I'm sure I'll just jab on. Get my notes. So Saturday, it was Saturday, June 12th is when I first started having like more noticeable contractions. They started at like 2 p.m. on that Saturday the 12th. Nothing consistent, nothing like super painful. They were just like, oh, these are uncomfortable, like could be happening soon. Because they were anywhere from like 2 minutes, no, not 2 minutes. They were anywhere from like 5 minutes to 25 minutes apart. Like they were just all over the place. Some would hurt more than others. But yeah, and those lasted from, I said 2 p.m. until like 11 p.m. when I laid down to go to bed. They went away, they were gone. And then I woke up and I had none while I was sleeping. Like I could sleep all night, none woke me up. I mean, I guess I could have had some while I was sleeping, but nothing woke me up, which, hallelujah, because I got a nice semi-full night of sleep. I woke up on the 13th, so Sunday the 13th, at like 5:30 with more contractions. Again, not super consistent, not super painful, just they were there, they were uncomfortable. And they lasted, they were like 3 to 10 minutes apart at that point, and kind of stayed that inconsistency until like 8 in the morning. And then they kind of got more consistent, a little more like, ouch. And they were right around like 4 or 5 minutes apart, and they stayed that way for a couple hours. They would get like a little bit more intense, but it wasn't anything crazy. But I decided to call the hospital at like 10:30, because, you know, I didn't know what I was doing because I'd never really labored on my own with Penny. So I was like, better safe than sorry. I'd rather go in, get checked, and get sent home. Because they were 4 minutes apart, and I feel like that's pretty close to still be 30 minutes from the hospital. So yeah, I called at 10:30. Did I call at 10:30? Yes. I called at 10:30. They said, all right, come in, we'll check you. Again, because I was a VBAC, they're on the more cautious side. So we went in, we got there at like 11:30 because we had to wait. My mother-in-law came over to be with Penny. So we got to the hospital around 11:30. The contractions were still the same, kind of 4-ish minutes apart, nothing super intense. And I got checked, and I was, so rewind a little bit. I had my appointment before this. My last appointment was on the 7th, so like 6 days before, and I was 2 centimeters and 50% effaced. And when I got to the hospital at 11:30, I was still 2 centimeters but 75% effaced. So they were like, we'll just keep you for a couple hours, watch you, because again, with the VBAC, they don't want to send us home to, if we're like gonna progress. I don't know, they're just very cautious. Which was fine with me. So they kept me for a couple hours. I bounced on the yoga ball. We walked in the halls. And while I was walking in the halls, my contractions started coming like really quick. They weren't necessarily getting super like more intense. They were like a little bit more, but nothing crazy. They were just coming fast. So they thought maybe I was a little dehydrated or something, and they wanted me to sit down or lay in the bed and see if they would slow down, if they were just fast because I was up and moving, or if I was dehydrated. So they had me lay down, and they gave me some fluids to see if contractions would stay the way they were or if they would slow down with me chilling out. And I think after like an hour of that, they came back and they had slowed down a little bit, but they hadn't like lessened in intensity. So they're like, all right, we're gonna just keep watching you. They let me get back up at that point, so I think I got back on the ball. I think they were back to more like 3 to 4 minutes apart rather than like coming quick. And then around 5 p.m. Oh, and they did check me when they had me sit down for fluids, and that was around 2 p.m. I am all over the place. I hope you guys are able to follow this. So around 2 p.m. is when they said, sit your butt down. And they checked me and I had no change. So that is why they think, there we go, that's it. That's why they think I was either dehydrated or it was just because I was up and moving, is because they were coming so fast and there was no progress happening. Once they slowed down a little bit, they let me get back up, get on the ball, and then at 5 p.m. they checked me again and I was at a 3, so a little progress, and they decided to keep me just because contractions weren't slowing down or anything like that. And they were like, so we're thinking he's just not in the right position. It feels like he might be sunny side up, so his face was facing my stomach instead of my back. So they were like, let's try some spitting babies. And if you guys don't know what spitting babies is, it's a bunch of, Google it if you're pregnant, worth it because you'll hear it friggin' works. A bunch of different exercises, yoga positions, stuff like that to get baby in a good position to come out, help labor. There's different positions for different things, so Google it. We tried the rebozo position, which is you're on all fours and they put like a sheet, or sometimes they have a specific piece of material under your belly and literally like shake your belly so it just kind of loosens your pelvis a little bit. We did that one. We did the forward leaning inversion, which is you put your knees on like the edge of a bed and you literally put your elbows like down on the floor, so you're like upside down. I'll put pictures of what they are. Upside down to take the pressure off your pelvis, to again let it open up and give the baby a little more room, because when they're kind of pushing down they don't have as much room to spin around, so he kind of comes back up in here so they can spin. And then the last one we tried is the side lying release, which you're laying on a bed, your leg is like kind of hanging over, and she literally just like massaged and like shook like my leg, my hip, my like up here to kind of just loosen all those muscles. And she said mine were wicked tight, so it literally just loosens it up, like you can feel your muscles kind of relaxing. So she did one side and then we rolled over, did the other side, and she was doing it and doing it. She did it for a pretty long time on each side, and then all of a sudden on the second side I felt like a weird like pop, and I was like, oh, maybe he just like moved funny or kicked me really hard. So I felt this pop and I didn't say anything, but then when she stopped and I like moved my leg, I felt a gush, and I was like, something just gushed out. And she was like, oh, okay, is it still coming out? And I was like, a little bit. And she was like, all right, let me go tell the doctor and they have like the little test strips to see if it's your amniotic fluid. And so I just kind of waited there for a second for her to go get the doctor and the strip, and they came back in and they rolled me onto my back and it just like gushed straight out. And they're like, okay, definitely your water, we don't need the strip anymore. And once it like fully broke, they noticed there was meconium in the water, which just means you have to have the pediatrician there when the baby is born. They weren't super concerned about it or anything, but at 6 p.m. my water broke. And once that happened, once my water broke, holy crap, it like went from 0 to 100 It was so painful. He was still sunny side up, so I was having all back labor. And I was still only at a 4. When my water broke, I was at a 4. And my contractions were like all of a sudden unbearable on top of each other. Like, and so they were like, we can give you an IV pain medication since you're not super dilated, if you don't want to get the epidural yet. And I was like, yep, I want to hold off on the epidural till I'm a little bit further along, because I had heard, especially with VBACs, it can slow down your labor, blah, blah, blah. I was just trying to wait as long as I possibly could to get the epidural. So they gave me an IV pain medication. It took the edge off for like a minute, and they were like, we can give you a little bit more if you want. And I was like, yes, please. And that second one did nothing, and my contractions just were getting more and more and more intense. And they were like, do you want the epidural? And I was like, yes, I do. So I think we called for the epidural around, I got my IV pain meds at 6:30, so I think we must have called around 7 for the epidural, maybe 7:30. That stuff took forever to get to us. He was like backed up doing something else, so it doesn't usually take that long. Usually it takes an hour from when you call for it for when you should be numb, an hour. And it took way longer to get my darn epidural. We called around 7:30, and I was literally yelling like that I couldn't do it, somebody help me. It was a scene. So they were like, let's get in the shower and see if that helps. Didn't help. I was in there for not very long, and they were like, all right, we're kind of concerned with how fast it got so intense. We want to make sure everything's okay. Let's check you. And they're like, and we're worried that you're not going to be able to sit still for the epidural. So let's give you, we have one more IV pain medication that's a little stronger that we think will help. So they did that. I honestly have no idea what time that was at. No idea. I was in another world. So they gave me the IV medication. We tried counter pressure and all this stuff while we were waiting for the epidural. Still wasn't coming. Still wasn't coming. It didn't get to us until like 9:45. So it took almost 3 hours. Anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours to get to us. Mama was not happy. But it got to us. It was fine. He put it in like so fast, which is a good thing, and you'll find out why. He put it in super, super, super so fast. And it was nice because I could still move. I still felt like pressure, but the contractions like were gone. And I was like, this guy must be everyone's favorite person because he's mine. So let me see, where am I? So we got there around 9:45, and it was starting to work around 10. And she checked me, like I was like sitting on my side, and she checked me and I was at a 6. And they were like, all right, just let us know if you feel any pressure, because that is what I would feel at that point, because again, I couldn't feel the contractions. So I laid down, and I'm not kidding, as soon as I laid down, I like looked at Alex and I was like, I feel like a lot of pressure. And I said it kind of quietly because I was like, I don't know if this is what they mean. And then I started to feel my body literally like bear down, like it was trying to push him out. And I was like, holy, like I'm not kidding, it was the second I laid down. I was like, so the nurse noticed and she was like, what's going on? And I was like, I feel a ton of pressure, like holy crap. So from the point that I told Alex to when she checked me, it was literally like a couple minutes. She's like, all right, I guess I can check you again. And so she checked me again, and she literally is like, oh, okay, and ran out into the hall and was like, guys, calls everyone back in, calls the doctor, and was like, all right, you're ready, let's go. Like, when I tell you, it was the second I laid down, it was like, all right, we're ready to go. We just needed that epidural. So I felt the pressure, like my body was pushing him out, and they were like, okay, let's go. And so like I said, the epidural was in effect around 10. She probably checked me maybe 10:10, and I was at 10 centimeters, and he was born at 10:24. So 24 minutes from when I got my epidural to him out. It was freaking crazy. And like, I could feel him coming out. Like, I don't even know if it fully went into effect, because I could feel that down there. It was not comfortable, and for a second I was like, I am not going to be able to push this baby out. This freaking hurts. So praise anybody who goes natural. And yeah, so he was born at 10:24. His cord was wrapped around his neck twice. So they were a little concerned about that for a second, but they put him right on my chest. The pediatrician checked him right away, and he was fine. The meconium and the cord were not an issue. And it was like me sitting there with him on my chest. Like, I couldn't believe that I actually like pushed him out. I couldn't believe it. Like, especially, it was the 13th and my C-section was scheduled for the 16th. So as each day was going by, I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna have to have a C-section. This sucks. And so when he was on my chest, I had pushed him out. I couldn't believe it. I was in pure shock, still in semi-shock that I actually did it. But yeah, they put him on my chest, and he literally, like, almost instantly tried to nurse, and it was like pretty freaking awesome to have the other experience. Nothing was wrong with my C-section. Like, my C-section was fine, but the recovery and the moments after are just like so, at least for me, it's different for everybody. It was like so unreal. Like, even photos, maybe I'll put pictures right here of like me right after he was born and me right after Penny was born. Like, you can just tell how different I was feeling, even just those moments after. It made such a huge difference, and I'm so freaking happy that I did it. And hallelujah for Alex for putting up with me during that, because again, I was freaking screaming. I was screaming. I don't know how people do it without pain medications. I mean, the back labor is no joke. I don't know what it would be like if he was not sunny side up. The fact that I progressed so fast, and like my water broke while we were doing those exercises, and that made it like progress so much quicker. Just like, I had no time to gradually get to that point. It just all of a sudden was one on top of the other, pain, 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 ouch. But I'm here, we made it, we lived through it, and yeah, I'm super glad. I only needed one stitch, which was pretty cool. I was very nervous since he came out so fast that I was gonna friggin' rip and tear, but I only needed one stitch. And yeah, here we are, we did it. We got our VBAC. Again, I cannot even believe it. Like, even now, I'll randomly say to Alex, like, I can't believe it. That is Abel's birth story. It was amazing, unreal, crazy, fast, intense, but worth every second. The recovery was worth every second. I think if you guys are interested, so give this video a thumbs up or comment down below if you're interested. I can do a video like comparing the recoveries, and then like maybe like recommendations of different things for each recovery. Like, you should have this and this for C-section recovery, this and this for vaginal recovery. That might be cool. So definitely let me know down below if you are interested in that. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other newborn videos you want to see. I will be doing a newborn must-haves video coming up in the next couple weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it. Go follow me on Instagram so you get to see all the fun baby spam. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.